So I'm 33, but I think my mental illness started before I was diagnosed borderline, probably when I was 13, 14. My parents divorced, so that environmental kind of had an effect on my. I remember my parents divorced, and it was really hard on me. But my teenage years, I definitely struggled in school. I did go to LDS, Family Services. I tried, therapy, and they tried to work with me, but I didn't really want to change. And I got myself to go on a mission. I had to come home early for depression, and that was really hard, really hard. Um, and then I've struggled with pornography off and on, so that has a huge impact environmentally. And so when I got home from my mission, that was in 2002. I went out for 5 months. They said that they thought, okay, severe depression, bipolar, possibly. So they put me on medications, and then from 2002 to 2000, since this past December, I was in and out of the hospital about 10 to 15 times, and I've had suicidal attempts. I've hurt cutting, self-destructive behavior, and so that's definitely affected me. It also affected my church membership, just things that I've done, unfortunately. In 2005, I was excommunicated, but in 2012, I was rebaptized, and now I'm working to get the temple blessings restored. And this past December, the therapist I was working with, she told me that I think you have borderline, and there's a local therapist here, Doug Benson, who's actually 2 doors down. I just got done with dialectic behavior therapy, and you have to meet 5 out of the 9 criteria to be considered borderline. Okay, so the signs and symptoms of borderline. People with BPD may experience extreme mood swings and can display uncertainty about who they are. As a result, their interests and values can change rapidly. Other symptoms include frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment, a pattern of intense and unstable relationships with family, friends, and loved ones, often swinging from extreme closeness and love, idealization, to extreme dislike or anger, devaluation, distorted and unstable self-image or sense of self. Also impulsive and often dangerous behaviors such as spending sprees, unsafe sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, and binge eating. Reoccurring suicidal behaviors or threats or self-harming behaviors such as cutting. Intense and highly changeable moods, with each episode lasting from a few hours to a few days. Chronic feelings of emptiness, inappropriate intense anger or problems controlling anger, having stress-related paranoid thoughts, and having severe dissociative symptoms such as feeling cut off from oneself, observing oneself from outside the body, or losing touch with reality. And so those are the 9 criteria, and unfortunately I fit all of those. So that was hard to realize, and I've had all those feelings, and it's literally true. Like the last month, for example, I've extreme up and downs, and it would last for like a couple hours to a couple days. Like 1 minute I'm fine, the next minute I'll think about something and I just get paranoid, or I'll just make up they're not even true thoughts about my friends and family that don't like me and that I feel they're going to abandon me. Like I was on the phone with my mom the other day, and I was like crying. I was like, Mom, I think everybody's going to leave me. And it's that intense. But DBT, I did that for 6 months. Usually you do it for a year, but after 6 months, my therapist at the time, Doug Benson, he said, I think you're at a point where you don't need the next 6 months. So DBT helps you regulate your emotions, fear, shame, guilt, abandonment issues. And so I've really taken hold heart to that. And I've definitely grown leaps and bounds from where I was in January till now. And, but But yeah, I just want to let everybody know that, BPD is a real thing. It's a real illness, and that medications sometimes can help, but it's the DBT that really helps. Marsha Linehan, who combined the DBT with other therapies, she actually has borderline herself, and she's the head psychiatrist therapist up at University of Washington, and just grateful for her for giving that information to the world. And so yeah, that's kind of my background. And I was able to, when I was younger, I was able to move on from, the divorce was really hard, but I was able to forgive and have a really great relationship with my dad and my stepmom, and so it's really good. And divorce was it was a really hard thing, and coming home from my mission was really hard. That was hard, and and being excommunicated, that was hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do. And I'm not bitter towards the church, or now there were times where I was mad at God, and in June of 2015 I applied to get my temple blessings back, and they said no, and they wanted me to wait, and I almost left the church over it. I was to that point, but I knew that I couldn't deny the Book of Mormon or the truths I knew about the church, and so I'm grateful I was able to get through that hard time in my life. And so yeah.